is always trying to ice skate uphill.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Common Sense and the Devil's Advocate. As always, I am here with my dear sweet friend, Mike. How are you tonight, Michael?
Good. Greetings from Ohio, everybody.
Oh, sir. Hello. Mike, I want to get into our topic tonight. It is coming up on All Hallows Eve, the spooky time of year. But before I do that, Mike, I need to bring something up. Mike, this is our 9th episode. We are starting to, I think, hum along a little bit. We're starting to get our groove, figure out our chi. And, you won't believe this, Mike. We passed 10,000 streams today.
Shit.
There are 2,000 crazy-ass people out there following us on Spotify. Can you
2,000
believe?
2,000 people are following, and we've had 10,000 streams.
Yes. Between
wow.
our 8 episodes, there have been 10,000 streams, and 2,000 people have actually clicked the follow button. So thank you, everybody. This is
Yes. Thank you.
I would have always, I think if we would ever hit 100, I would have been tickled pink that we weren't wasting our time. And now it's glad to hear that, that people are enjoying the light banter between two old friends. So with that being said, let's get right into the sweet and sugaryness of it tonight. All right. As I said, Michael, Halloween is right around the corner. Some places have already done their trick-or-treating. You know, Halloween is on a Friday this year, so in my personal opinion, any place that has gone and done their trick-or-treating is a bastardization of the holiday. And I bet you're going to tell me Ohio's already done it, haven't they?
Most of them, yes. Only your smaller neighborhoods and townships are the ones that do it on Halloween. But my town has already done trick-or-treat. And yes, I agree. It's blasphemous.
Well, and the fact that it's on a Friday this year is even crazier. There's like almost no excuse, right?
Well, you've got high school football, Joe.
Well, we have that down south too. I mean, come on.
I'd rather be trick-or-treating.
No doubt. Even in my old age, I'd rather be trick-or-treating. So, Michael, let's dive into this. I think we're gonna have some fun right now. All right. So,
First off, what are you drinking, Joe? What are you drinking tonight?
I'm finishing off a bottle of 10-year Eagle Rare bourbon that I got up in Kentucky last year. It's delicious, and I'm very sad that I'm finishing it because it's a very enjoyable bottle.
I am trying a new brandy called Saint Remy VSOP. It's got fruity undertones. It's French, but I've never had it before, but it's pretty tasty.
You're enjoying it? Beautiful. Beautiful. So speaking of tasty things, let's pretend for a minute that your son just came back from a wonderful night of trick-or-treating. He comes home and he dumps his pile of booty on the floor and starts sorting the sugary goodness.
Okay.
And Mike, all right, here is your challenge. You're allowed to take one candy out of that mix. And because, we have dad tax. So you're allowed to take as many of that one as you want. Let's say whatever you choose, there's going to be a lot of them. Okay? But Mike, because I'm not a nice person, we're going to caveat this and we're going to remove the top 5 Halloween candies that usually people jump to right away.
Oh, right? Top 5. Damn.
We're going top 5. I'm even going to let AI help me out here, right? Number 1, which is a no-brainer for the world, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Oh, yeah.
No Reese's in any manner. Don't try to say that the ones shaped like a bat don't count, even though they're better because it's got the greatest ratio going on.
Oh, yeah. Peanut butter to chocolate ratio is epic.
Yes. It really is. Their holiday shapes are phenomenal. I really wish they'd make a dark chocolate coated one because that would probably be in heaven. Do like a Christmas tree or a pumpkin with dark chocolate. God, that'd be amazing. Okay, no Reese's.
No Reese's.
No peanut M's.
Specifically just peanut M&M.
Well, that's the number 2, the second most popular. But the problem now is the third is M's. So guess what? You guys are just out of the running, period. The next one, which is one that I love myself immensely, Kit Kat. It's that, that crunchy, happy wafer. Yeah, it's an easy reach go-to. It really is.
One of the best.
It is. And again, I'm a dark chocolate fiend, but if you've had the dark chocolate ones, they're phenomenal.
Can I guess number 5?
Let's see what you got.
I'm going to guess Butterfingers.
No, Snickers.
Really?
This caramel nougat and peanut butter filled chocolate bar is a consistent fan favorite for Halloween.
Yes, you're
But you know
right.
what, Mike? I'm now going to make this difficult for myself because I think one of the things I would have chosen is Butterfinger. But since you put it out there, I'm going to cross that off the list too. So you can't choose any of those six,
Damn it.
right? Hey, dude. And if you had the peanut butter Butterfingers, the little cup ones they made,
Yeah.
dude, they're so
Right?
good. All right.
All
Okay,
right.
noodle on that. So what do you, okay, where are you going? Where's your mind going for a minute here, right? So now you got to start marinating. Okay, I can't have any of the good chocolate peanutty crunch.
I can't even go like white chocolate Reese cups.
No, no Reese's. If any of the names that we just said are in the name, forget about it. Forget
You know
about
what?
it.
You know what? I'm only gonna pick one, even though I kind of want to pick two here. But that
What,
wouldn't be fair to
throw
you
a
in
couple.
case.
No,
Okay,
throw a couple out there and let's argue them, Mike. Come on.
so I'm gonna go with Twick and oddly Bit Honeys. I know, right? Odd.
You're like the one person that if someone gets a bit of honey, they usually look down and they're like, we're egging his house.
Yeah, right. But I'm the dad to be like, dude, I will take all your Bit Honeys. I'll give you $5 for all your Bit Honeys. But Twix would have to be my number one. But after that, if he doesn't have Twix, I'm looking for Bit Honeys.
Okay, now I'm going to, so you said Twix. Are you going Twix across the board or just caramel?
Oh, no, I'm going Twix across the board, bro.
I mean,
It doesn't
not that
matter
really.
if it's caramel, cookie, peanut butter. It's Twix. I'm eating it.
Okay. Not the, it's really, you almost never see a peanut butter Twix though in like the snack pack. I don't
No,
think
you don't.
they're delicious. They're not Reese good, but it is a good mix.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you that. So what's your biggest reasoning for that?
Twix mainly because I can't have, Snickers or Butterfinger or Kit Kat. But it's usually a safe go-to in this household. If all those are gone, it's like I'll kill us some Twix. But
You're
Bit
not going to,
Honey for me is it's kind of just like a nostalgia thing from back in the 80s. Like I don't know. They were just kind of there in the candy bowl at my great grandmother's house and my grandmother's house.
but do you want to eat a lot of them?
As long as my teeth can handle it, sure.
Well, yeah, I guess that's if I'm thinking of properly, bit of honey, I'm thinking I'm gonna pop it in my mouth, I'm gonna slobber a little bit, I'm gonna chew on it, and then like 3/4 of it's gonna dissolve, and then I'm gonna be like chiseling that last quarter off of my teeth so I can get the last of the flavor and chew it out. Is that like, am I thinking proper there? What they were kind
You're
of
pretty
like?
close. They're not quite as bad as sugar daddies or sugar babies, but
Okay.
or even milk duds, but they're right in there.
Okay. Yeah. Sugar daddies. Those are terrible. Like they just stick. Like you get
Yeah.
like 2 bites and it's like a
You're
crown.
you're looking for a toothpick, a chisel, and a flosser.
Yeah, exactly. I hope you don't have to go to the dentist, which I just did today.
But yeah, mine is Twix, no fail, all time, across the board. If I cannot have those top six, yeah, Twix is for me.
Okay. All right. I like that. I would have, Twix doesn't shock me. I think that's a good safe one. A bit of honey. Oh, that one I would have never seen come in. So
Oh, Joe,
I
I'm one
commend
step
you.
away from Werther's Originals.
Oh, yeah. You see those and you're like, a kid's like, what the heck? You're like, oh, give me that. That's delicious. I'll eat that shit.
Oh, give
I
me a
wouldn't have,
Werther's.
they're still yummy. Someone's got them dug in deep in the bottom of a purse somewhere, right? When they run out of candy, they grab the purse and dig.
I keep them in my candy drawer.
They're covered in tissues. There you go, honey. I didn't suck on this one too much.
Hey, what you got?
All right, so this is a tough one, Mike, because I'm a chocolate fiend. I love everything chocolate. When I see the kids dump it out there, and you pull those pieces to the side that we already talked about, my eyes start darting, and I'm looking at like the Butterfinger, but we crossed that one off the list. I actually looked at the special darks, just the little ones, even though it's like, oh, there's not that much to this, but a little disappointed there. I'm not an Almond Joy Mounds person. I don't like chewing on coconut. I just like the flavor. So I ain't going anywhere near those. I know some people go crazy for Hershey's. Listen, I love Hershey Park. I love Reese's. I love Kit Kat, but Hershey's chocolate's just not good at all. It is not a good chocolate. I'm not a Milky Way person. I like Nestle Crunch a lot. It always makes me happy.
Oh, yeah.
But for some reason, maybe I'm candy bar racist. I don't know. But I don't like the mini Nestle Crunches as much as a full-size bar because
They have a
there's something
different
about
flavor and texture.
that thickness. Like the full size bar's got the perfect crunch with that crispy rice in it, and when you condense it down, it's just not the same. You lose some of the happiness.
Yeah, totally agree on that one.
So now I'm looking through this, right? And what do you see, right? You see Starburst. No, I'm okay. They're good, but I'm not going to hoard those. Kids nowadays, Sour Patch Kids. No thanks. You can take that. But you know what? One that always catches my eye. I don't know if this will be my final answer, but
Yeah.
I love nerds.
Nerds?
Nerds, man. They're a sweet, sour, crunchy, tart happiness. And I think I
I
like them because unlike chocolate, I'm not going to eat 12 boxes of them in a row. Whereas you put a pile of Reese in front of me and it's going to be bad.
Yeah, you're gonna go to the doctor.
I've lost out on the Butterfinger. I've now lost out on Twix because of you. I like the nerds. I love Twizzlers too. They're an easy one for some reason, because it's a bullshit reason, because they're like, oh, there's no fat in Twizzlers. Well, there's a lot of sugar in them.
Yeah.
So you pretend they're healthier, but I think they're delicious. They're a great chew. I don't think Reese's Pieces would be in here just because of all that going on. So you really, really got me in the back when you said Butterfinger, because that was my answer, man. That was going to be my answer. But I'm thinking it'd be a toss up between, I'm looking at it. It's only a couple of days away. All the chocolate's gone. What do you really want? I'm going to go with Twizzlers. I'm going to grab the Twizzlers, and I'm going to happily eat those things because
And with less guilt.
Less guilt. I'm lying to myself regardless, right? But it's still less guilt.
Now, I have a question for you about the nerds. Have you had the nerds gummies yet?
Dude,
They're
amazing.
Oh my God.
Like have you seen the crunchy ones?
Yeah. They're
Yes,
like,
those are. See, I would have brought those out and said that, but I haven't seen them be in like mass and Halloween yet. I have a feeling this year they're going to come out though, because they become so popular.
yeah,
But
last year I only
delicious.
saw them in combo bags. But yeah.
They're delicious. They are. Well, my kid loves to get those when we go to the movies, and they're hard to not destroy.
Yeah, you went into the bag halfway through the movie going, shit, I ate them all.
You eat them all. Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. The nerds they've upped their game. I'm afraid to know what's in that stuff, because I'm sure the ones that they've now coagulated into.
Right. It's probably some kind of beetle ass larva polish.
I think it's whatever is growing in RFK Jr.'s brain is what gummy nerds are made out of.
I have another caveat question for you.
Are we still talking candy, or are we moving on?
We're still in the candy bag. Now you're sitting there, Joe. Now this is a battle for the ages. There's some people that love Neil Diamond and some that don't.
Sweet.
There's some people that will have these two options in front of their face: Twizzlers or Red Vine sitting in that bag. Which do you choose?
I do not like Red Vines.
Oh, where I would kill for a Red Vine.
Not one bit. Nope. Twizzlers 100%. And again, they got to be the red Twizzler. Like black licorice? Oh, God.
I mean, I do black licorice, but I get that one.
Just like Jägermeister. Disgusting. I don't know how.
It was a fad thing. That's all that is. Like right now, everybody's Fireball. Like, really? We played that out in the 90s, guys.
Right. Move on. But yeah, no, I'm not a Red Vine. I would go Twizzlers. So I'd be looking at two piles of Twizzlers and nerds, and it would almost be like close my eyes and just reach out and grab one, and that's who's going to win. But I would go with the Twizzlers because I just think they would keep longer. It's the kind of thing that I could throw in a drawer in my office, and then when you forget about it, you open it up, you're like, woohoo, yeah.
It might be expired by 6 months, but it still tastes brand new.
It'll never. It's come on, they're like Twinkies. They're never going to expire. I ain't worried about that.
Where I do agree with you, Red Vine do have a shelf life. They do get stale.
Yep.
All right. Well,
so we tackled the candy portion of this. So now let's move on to your son was out there as he was doing his trick or treating. He comes back and he's like, somebody was dressed up as blank and scared the living crap out of me. Mike, who is that horror movie person
for
that
me,
just epitomizes, in your opinion, who is the horror movie relic icon. Who do you put on the top of the pedestal? You can give me your top 3 if you want, but I need to know number 1. First,
I
I
won't
need
give you
number
top 3
1.
because I don't want to pull any thunder from what you might have to pull out here. But I'm gonna definitely go with when I was growing up, and the biggest scare that I got gave me the heebie-jeebies was definitely Freddy Krueger. That whole concept of dying in your sleep, it floored me out. And then when he's running his knife fingers across the railing in that steam room and shit, and then the 10-foot arms in that alleyway, I was probably we were 10 years old when that came out.
Michael.
Dude, Krueger scared the shit out of me.
You're killing me, brother.
I guess your guy.
I'm gonna throw some debates out there with you, but the problem is, you are correct, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Again, here's the problem, right? And again, not to push yours up. I mean, somehow he quote unquote dies in these movies, but he's already dead. The problem with Freddy is he don't chase you when you're awake. That's the worst part about it. Over everybody else, for the most part, right? All you gotta do is wait. You're gonna get tired. No one can stay awake forever. And I'm gonna be honest with you, for me, part of it's a bit of nostalgia, and it kind of goes along to what you were talking about. And I remember when the first one came out, I saw it on, it was like one of those free weekend HBO and Max, things, because my parents weren't paying for that. And I remember I watched it. I don't know if I watched the whole movie, but I watched enough of it. And that first house that we had in my, when we moved to Michigan, had a furnace. And the basement stairs would literally go straight down. And then you would see, if the doors weren't closed in the laundry room, is the furnace. And I can remember times when like the light wasn't working. So you had to go down the stairs before you could even turn a damn light on. And all you would see is that.
Dude, I feel you so much.
As someone in like, first, second grade, dude, that will scare the ever living bejesus out of you.
So I know that feeling, but I was fortunate that I didn't have to live with it, only because my great grandmother had an old house that we would go to on the weekends, and she had a furnace like that in her house in southern, I think it was Summit County somewhere. But yeah, it was the same furnace. It had the big cast iron grates, and the flame would come up like old octopus thing. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I only went down there one time, and I was like, nope.
All it took, never at night. During the day, okay. But when it's freaky. You should not be able to see a flame from something heating your house unless it's an actual wood burning fire. And I don't know why the hell why are they so noisy?
Right?
But that thing scared the crap out of me. He's always kind of been my number one in that manner, just because, there's a nursery rhyme, dude.
Oh yeah.
He gets you when you're sleeping. I mean, he killed Johnny Depp.
Right?
Right?
21 Jump Street.
Oh, that was about the time frame too. Yes, sir.
All
yes,
right,
sir.
So I grabbed number 1.
Okay. So Jason's up there too, right? I mean, you got to give Jason his props. One, because he doesn't seem to die. Every time, no matter what they do to kill him, they've made like 46 Jason movies. I never saw Jason versus Freddy, but I think he actually won. If there's a winner in that movie, I don't know.
I never watched it.
Yeah, it looked too cheesy to me, I'm guessing. And honestly, I don't know. Would you even think, if we're throwing out other ideas of who could take this? Michael Myers is great, but he's too slow, and they just have idiots in that movie.
So Michael Myers holds a special place in my heart only because of the creep factor. The whole William Shatner mask backstory on it. It was just, that white mask is just creepy as all hell. It has, to me, more of an effect visually than the ski mask did. Jason was just this unstoppable zombie beast, but
right?
Myers has got that, I don't know, this like Phantom of the Opera kind of creep. I don't know.
And he just keeps escaping and coming back. I mean, Hellraiser? That was out there.
That was a collective, though. That was a whole collective of beasts that just, damn, Pinhead wasn't alone on that one.
Right? Yeah. Would you put, oh my, am I drawing a blank? The Alien from the Alien movies. Would you put that in there, or is that just sci-fi horror? Yeah, Xenomorph. Would you put that in the list? Because they actually messed me up for a while, because I remember seeing the first one, being, again, very young, And at the time, I was actually taking, I think, saving CPR swim classes up at a college in Michigan. And I remember thinking, these things, the cool thing is they don't swim. And then the second movie comes out and they have in water and they're like great swimmers. And I remember
Yeah, they
seeing that.
swim.
And now I didn't want to go in like the deep end of a pond, or a lake or anywhere deep, because it freaked me out briefly.
The whole xenomorph thing, you'd have to just, that is, I would claim them as a hybrid. Yeah, they're scary, they're creepy, but it's kind of like, somebody would put Leatherface in there from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's kind of like a standalone, I don't know. Leatherface is horror, and I get it, but it's almost like Leatherface was the start of shock horror.
Yeah.
Not really just slasher films or creepiness. It was just, wow, this is in your face, just blood and guts. Where it was kind of like the xenomorph kind of took on sci-fi and took it to the next level of like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So horror,
Okay.
nah, I don't know. Didn't scare me? Sure. It scared everybody, but not like The Exorcist did.
Well, yeah. So the first thing, one of the ones that got me, honestly, like crazy. And again, it's not a singular being, but I think the first thing that I can ever remember scaring the bejesus out of me was Poltergeist.
Oh, yeah.
The
Swimming
little
pool
girl
scene.
talking to, no, the TV scene. That one messed me up. That got me good.
Yeah, that was a good one. And that damn clown.
Yeah. So if you're looking at some others and we kind of start to rank them, I wasn't hoping you'd go with Freddy, but the thing is, I think he is the epitome just because, again, he gets you into sleep. I looked it up real quick here. Freddy versus Jason. They said, sorry, spoilers. Not that really matters for this movie, people. But supposedly it ends with Jason walking out of the lake with Freddy's head in his hand.
Now I have to watch
And then
it.
Freddy winks. And then Freddy winks and laughs. Freddy still is. You can't kill what's dead. Ghostface from Scream, not scary, just creative movie, writing. But I don't see that as a scary one. And he almost always got his butt kicked all the time. He was always like, one throw bottle away from losing constantly. We just watched Scream recently. You're like, yes, he would be falling down. You're like, if they would just not run because he's already down, they could just have ended it. It's an easy one there. Pennywise? Because Pennywise is pretty freaky. All clowns are fucking
but
weird.
he's got too much of a character to him though. There's too much soul into that character. I mean, to have that much dialogue. I mean, Freddy had dialogue, but where he came from was a total different thing. Pennywise, creepy, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, the Terrifier is way more scarier than Pennywise.
Thankfully, I haven't seen that. I hear it's all gore, shock factor, so I'd have no desire.
Yeah, it is.
Let me throw.
But even some of the camera shots that they do with the Terrifier clown, I forget the name that they call him, but either way is just some of the lighting they use in those films and the makeup that they did for that character is just pretty creepy as hell. And then they add in the brutal aspect. Art the Clown, yeah.
Okay, so while we're moving this on from a debate of who takes the cake, because we both agreed on there's just, unfortunately, it's almost not a debate. People are going to call us idiots out there, I'm sure, but I ain't going to buy it. I don't care. So let me we've thrown Jason out there, right? We've thrown Michael Myers out there. We've got the main ones that you always think about. Are you ready? I'm going to throw a curveball for you. About Jaws. Bruce the shark. I mean, dude, how many people were afraid to go near the water when that movie came out? And still, here's the other thing is, still there are millions that will not go in the ocean because of sharks.
I'm one of them. I'm very selective of how far I go into the ocean. Very selective.
And Jaws kind of started it. I love the ocean, and I still have that twinge when I'm out there.
Well, you should. You are in their home, Joe. You're in their home, Joe. And if you get eaten, I'm like, it's kind of like the people that bitch about the reindeer up here eating their begonias. It's like you are in their land. They were here first. Okay.
No, you're right. I do not disagree with you.
I respect the ocean.
Yes. So if you were going with if you're ranking your pedestal, if you're gold, silver, and bronze, we've already agreed Freddy has got the gold. What are you thinking for silver? Let's start with that. Hannibal Lecter. Is he
Nah,
is he more? No, he's just too sweet because he's Sir Anthony Hopkins. They've ruined him by having him be someone you already love.
not not so much that. It's just I think maybe Jodie Foster threw it off. I mean, he definitely was a great character, but as far as like, I mean, I'll find the Babadook a little bit more of a or creepiness than Hannibal Lecter. The character was great. It was a great character, but as far as the scariest,
Yeah.
earning number two spot, I'd put Patrick Bateman from American Psycho above that.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, yeah. And that
That's
only rang in my head because I watched it the other day while I was cooking. I was like,
freaky.
American
You know,
Psycho, sweet.
did you see they're thinking of doing a new one?
Oh
Redo?
shit. Oh no, that's only mean it's going to be more brutal.
Well, now here's where it's interesting. The rumor, and again, I just saw this today. Margaret as American Psycho. I think she could pull it off too. It would be
I think
interesting.
she could. Margot Robbie.
Um,
Ooh.
so I like that though. I like American Psycho. I'm gonna give it to you. I think overall character development, pure lunacy that really the character had trumps over Jason and Michael Myers. I would be more afraid of somebody like that wanting me dead than a slow moving creeper.
Yeah. Patrick Bateman is
Mm.
just, I mean, from a late 80s perspective, that whole movie, I will put it up there with Jaws as far as it being is the horror genre, is almost a perfect movie. Jaws is more of a perfect movie, obviously, but American Psycho, as far as a horror movie, is just got all that great flex of fear and blood and gore and anxiety and and like what the fuckery. We'll just put it that way.
And I mean, and Christian Bale just so perfect at it. I mean, the
Right.
guy's a savant. He can pull off that. He looks like the tailored guy that's going to be your stockbroker, but he also looks like the crazy whack. I mean, he phenomenally pulled it off. Okay, so that's number 2. So now we're down to number 3. Let me throw some oddballs out there to see if any of them pique your interest, right? We go with The Shining. We could even go with Kathy Bates from Misery. It's a very odd way you'd ever get put in the situation, but the idea of someone even, doing that to you, right? Some people like to go the whole Jaws or Saw franchise, the Jigsaw. It's a little bit of a stretch, I think, it's a horror movie, but the villain itself is not, scary because I would almost put the main villain in 7 above
Oh yeah.
Jigsaw. 'Cause that was a real emotional, mind bend with that movie.
Yeah, in Jigsaw and the Saw movies, the puppet riding the tricycle was scarier than the actual guy's voice. Without that puppet, you've got no Jigsaw. Bottom line.
Yes, agree.
And that wasn't even the main character. He was just a stand-in. It's like, what's scarier, the actual guy or the puppet that's riding the tricycle looking at you?
Yeah.
Great
We
movies.
haven't touched. We
Great
haven't
movies. Child's Play.
Yeah.
So the first one I'll give you, that was pretty creepy, but then they got ridiculous.
Yes, but he's a scary asshole. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, the first one with the whole spiritual, like voodoo thing, and sorry if any of nobody's seen it, but
definitely a great way to avoid the police, right?
yeah, definitely. It's like, oh, I'm just adult. But I mean, great concept, like the Saw movies, great concept and stuff. But number 3,
You're thinking, aren't you? Though.
am
Michael Myers is just too. I just want to say it's too obvious and too.
too easy.
It's too easy. Same with Jason. I want to go out. What's gonna truly haunt you? Now, granted, you ever go camping, Jason is gonna be in the back of your mind.
Yes.
You go for
Always.
a walk around the block, Michael Myers isn't coming to mind. So maybe that might elevate Jason higher than I thought, because any time of the year you go out or sit by a campfire, there's always that you hear a twig snap, and it's always what the.
Yeah. Is it a bear or is there somebody coming to kill me? And trust me, as I'm a true lover of true crime on the internet, that kind of shit creeps the hell out of me. Which is why if I ever go camping again, it's going to be with metal walls. I'm not a fan of camping in tents at all. So, okay. So I'm looking through a list here. I'm doing a little bit of a cheat sheet as we're talking, and I'm going to have to give number 3 to Norman Bates. I really am. Bates Motel, the original Psycho. So being a lover of dipping my mental debauchery in the world of serial killers and the Ed Geins and all that other stuff that just
Okay.
will mess with your head if you're not okay with it. Norman Bates brings that level of realistic treat that not only did they pull part of his character from a real serial killer slash psychotic person,
Okay.
but they also embedded him in a realistic situation. So it's something that really did happen and something that could absolutely happen at the same time. You're not talking some grandiose like dream scheme like Freddy Krueger, or you're not talking about some psycho that zombie that rose from the dead like Jason Voorhees, or some Michael Myers kid that wears a rubber mask. You're talking about a real guy, suffered real trauma, has real mental issues, owns a hotel, peeps on his customers, and murders them. All of that can the reality of all that could happen and has happened in some stints makes Norman Bates for me my number 3.
I'm gonna let you have it. I mean, I think that you're right. The realism, Freddy wins because you just can't get away from Freddy. I'm trying to think of a reason to disagree with you, but I can't. So yeah, the American Psycho is again in a similar situation. It's a person that feel like you may have met somebody like that at some point in your life. So the realism is there, right? And you just didn't know how much they may or may not have be ready to snap.
Which a quick addition to that story to add on to the American Psycho story. I remember I was 11 years old. My family and I went to New York for a wedding at the big, huge, St. Patrick's Cathedral. It was a very lavish thing for one of my dad's fraternity brothers. And I turned around and I shook hands with this guy, and he had the late 80s haircut with the big kind of bouffant, almost like a Patrick Bateman kind of haircut, but he was blonde and he wore these shaded glasses and he was wearing a gray suit. And I shook his hand and somebody introduced me to him. And then one of his friends said, "Do you want to know something about that guy that you shook hands with the glasses?" I'm like, "Yeah, he just got out of jail about 6 months ago for spending 20 years in prison for stabbing his wife 60 times." Blew my mind at 11. Granted, these are frat brothers of my dad's. They were all drunk and I was 11. So it is what it is. But they told me this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was messed up. But yeah, so the fact that somebody like Patrick Bateman could do that, it's all right. What is our next Halloween pile of mess to rub on?
All right, let's put one more little fun one out there real quick. What is the worst Halloween outfit you've ever seen? Have you ever one where you've seen someone out there and just been like, what in the sweet name of all things holy were they thinking? And they
So
actually they left the house.
Joe, I'd like you to go first on this one.
Would you now?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty ones out there that people think are real creative and they kind of start getting a little stupid. It's not even, I can't think of anything where I've been overly shocked because I lived in Miami for 6 years and saw, I can remember going to Coconut Grove and they're literally painting naked bodies, So I've seen some pretty craziness. You see women, that are just wearing lingerie and you're like, that's nice, but come on, it's not creative. You're not going to Halloween. I've seen one too many lately of the couples where one is all in orange and her husband is in green and he's got, orange on his mouth. And it's Peter, pumpkin eater. Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's creative, I guess, but you Googled that shit now. It was creative, the very first person that came up with it.
Right.
I think that there's just been some out there that have been classless. This is so bad. I believe once I saw an OJ carrying a blonde head.
Oh,
That's pretty bad. I'm shocked. Actually, now because of where I live, I'm not shocked, but there's going to be some Charlie Kirks out there this year because people like to take others' tragedies and think it makes a good Halloween outfit, and it just kind of, I think it's really, I've just seen some that are just more tasteless and I got a pretty sick mind, but
yeah, you do.
But there's a limit as to what is just like wrong. No, you don't do that, So, I want to say I've seen some, like I said, the OJ one was pretty fucked up.
I agree.
Yeah, that would probably take the cake for me. I think I saw a Clinton and a Monica Lewinsky once, and that was pretty funny because they were just walking around. I think she was carrying a cigar, which is even better. So
Nice.
you can take a situational and make it humorous, right? But it's when you take the wrong situation and you turn it into just classless where it goes too far. Even dressing up like, a couple of years ago, people would dress up like Biden and walk around like they're confused. All right. Funny old man gag. Okay, I get it. It could have gone worse. But, I'm shocked. I don't ever remember in our life seeing Lorena Bobbitt walking around with like a dong,
Yeah, I never stole one either.
that would have been a creative one, right? Gross.
I would be down with that.
Yeah, but so I don't have. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the OJ and the blonde mannequin head. That was probably the most classless I've seen. They just took it one step too far. You could have gone dressed as OJ with like gloves that were too small, and I would have been okay with that. But when the severed head just that was just a little bit too much for me. What do you got?
So mine actually goes with a small story. It's back when we lived in the old town where we met, and it was Halloween, trick or treat, and it snowed that Halloween like 6 to 10 inches, and there were very few trick or treaters out on the street. And one child, probably I want to say the girl was probably about 9 or 10 years old with her mom. And granted, it was snowing. It was like 28 degrees, and we didn't expect to have anybody. But this one girl and her mom came to the doorstep. On the door, I opened it up, and this girl, probably 9 or 10 years old, probably weighed about 250 pounds. Sad. It is what it is. But the costume her mom allowed her to wear, that kind of like I went, huh? Was a cow costume with the udders on the abdominal area. Now
I've
you have a
seen that.
9 or 10 year old girl that weighs 220 pounds wearing a cow costume with udders sticking out. That, I have to say, was the epitome of my language. People, what the fuck? And I was only in my like late teens, early 20s then. And I still, to this day, that still sticks in my mind, that I can't believe that her parents didn't try to talk her out of that. Or they said, well, I had this bad vision that it was just a condescending parent that said, well, you're a big girl, maybe you should be a cow. And I just felt bad for her at that point in time. But that, in my lifetime, was the worst costume combo I think I'd ever seen. I don't know if it's just me, but it just looked really, really bad and very distasteful. The poor girl, I felt bad for her, but she got her candy in 6 to 10 inches of snow. And it kind of blew my mind.
So that did remind me. I don't know why that reminded me, but another one I saw once that was, again, what made you come up with the idea and think it was good was dude dressed as a bloody pad.
Oh,
Like, that's just gross, dude. Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, now let's flip it real quick. What's the best one that you've either done or seen? Like anything you guys have done as a family or anything you've seen and been like, dude, they took it to the house. Uber props. But you're thinking of just handing the kid all the candy in your bowl because they just won it.
all right. The number one that I have ever seen that I still go, that was kick ass. The dad was dressed up in a cardboard box shaped like the Empire State Building, and he was holding his daughter that was dressed in a gorilla costume. King Kong. It was epic. And he was holding her the whole time.
Phenomenal. I love it. I love it.
It was so well done and so well put together. I still smile thinking about it to this day. And I'm just wondering where that son and daughter grouping is right now.
Well, hopefully they're still owning it every year and putting together, phenomenal ones.
Yeah, that was my favorite of all time, I think, was a dad dressed as the Empire State Building in that uncomfortable cardboard box that he spent a lot of time on, and his little baby girl, probably 2, maybe, just holding her on his hip like she was climbing the Empire State Building, and he even had like a biplane wired to like the side of his top of his cap that he had for the thing. I wish I took a picture then, but I don't have it.
That is impressive. I'm gonna say actually one of the favorites that I've not only ever seen but partaken in is we did one year as a family when my kids were still much younger. I think our son was, I don't even know if he was walking, but it was when Game of Thrones was at the peak of its years, and my
Yeah.
daughter still had toe white blonde hair. So we dressed
Huh?
her up as Daenerys. She had a little dragon on her shoulder, which was actually, if you remember when we went to Disney eons ago, and
Oh
they had
yeah.
those right when Avatar opened, those little
Yeah.
dragon things. So she held that on one. Our little son was dressed as a dragon. I was dressed as Jon Snow with all, burly sword and a beard and hair. And my wife was long red hair at the time. So she was Jon Snow's, northern girl and all that with the
Uh-huh.
bow and arrow. I mean, we've got a family picture of this literally in our house because it just came together so perfectly well. That was always one of my favorites. And there was another one where we used to do the whole trunk or treating at a drive-in movie. And I
Yeah.
was dressed up with a blow-up surfboard, and I had a white T-shirt that we cut a side out of and put a bunch of fake blood on it. And our son, when he was like 3, like he was just able to run around, was dressed up like a shark. And so he's chasing me around the drive-in movie theater like he's trying to eat me and then taking a bite out of me, which goes back to
Nice.
our Jaws horror movie, stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a blast. Halloween's fun, Mike. People get to get outside their element a little bit, get creative.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, stay out of trouble. I remember it as a kid very fondly, and still do as an adult. I think we hit some fun topics tonight. We got. I mean, they were a little hard when you're trying to figure out the perfect candy out there when you can't choose the real perfect candy. But I think we debated that one pretty nice. I would suggest an MRI because you chose bit of honey at some point. Not sure if
I'm
you're
an old
really
soul, Joe.
okay. You call whatever you want. I love you, but I'm gonna like that one. But hey, dude, come on. We got Twizzlers, Twix, bit of honey, and Nerds in the mix here. I think we're all right. And all
I
that's
think
gonna
we can
be.
survive even without the Reese cups, the peanut
Ooh,
butter M&Ms, Kit Kats, Snickers, and Butterfingers.
and at some point we'll find them anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. We put our top 3 villains out there. Freddie took it for both of us without any debate whatsoever. Norman Bates, so we got the double psycho for in our opinion for silver and bronze. American Psycho and Psycho.
Yeah. Yeah.
And think I think you're right. The little bit of potential realism that goes with those two, and the fact that it's could happen to you, is where you get that extra level of just, fuckery, that just kind of really puts it over the edge. And we just discussed some really interesting Halloween costume choices that are out there, the kind of stuff that you probably wouldn't want to take to the office party, but honestly, the cow with udders, maybe. I've seen that's like a pretty big adult costume now, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. I think it's the whole suckling thing. But what's your costume this year?
Well, the big
You do
party
not
that
have
we
to
had,
divulge. You
the
do not
big
have to
party.
divulge.
Well, we had our party last weekend in our neighborhood, and the area that we hosted was a carnival type theme. So I went as Joe Dirt. I got lots of love for Dirte, and it was, yeah, it was fun. It was fun, but I don't think we're really going to be dressing. I don't know what's going to go on Friday. We're the kids will go trick or treating. I don't know if we'll really dress up. Sure, I think we have a couple parties invited to, but it's a tough one this year with Halloween being on a Friday because the kids are going to be super sugary and hyped up and going on. So trying to get out and do other stuff is going to be interesting, or it's going to be short lived.
Yeah.
I think.
I do have another thing to add to this whole trick or treat Halloween thing. So when it comes to the handing out of the candy, is your wife small, simple, 2 pieces per kid, or is she psychotic like my wife?
Was your wife got a candy gun that she shoots at them, or does she
Oh
give
no,
them
dude. She's got baby applesauces. She's got doggy treats. She's got big candy bars for great costumes and adults that wear costumes. She's got popcorn. She's for those who have candy allergies. It goes on and on and on. Like it pretty much is a monthly bill after Halloween when my wife hands out candy at Halloween. So where's your Where's your wife land? Because mine's crazy.
Dump it all in a big bucket of stuff and put it out with a sign that says, please don't take more than one. We're going trick-or-treating.
So my wife is psychotic. Copy. I just need some justification.
100%. Now, granted, I think it's fun when we get back and you start giving kids candy. And the closer it gets to like, the ending hour, it's great to just start taking handfuls and looking at kids' faces when you're like, here. And then when you want to turn off the light and you just look at that last kid and you're like, hold on, let me take out the stuff I want. And they just dump here. Take it all, kid. They're like, really? It's always great to get that. Sometimes it's even a teenager, and they don't even expect it. They think they're going to get screwed. You're like, here, get candies.
Yeah.
I don't care. You're not going to egg my house now. So, which I don't know if
You're
kids
not
even
my
do
kid. Have a bag of Reese cups.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not giving out something I want to keep in the house.
We're gonna
I got
fight.
limits, Mike.
All right, Joe. Well, I think that taps out Happy Halloween. And this,
I think you're right.
I'm feeling a little numb from this VSOP Saint Remy. Saint Remy.
Remy. Well, don't drink too much of it on Halloween because you might give out the wrong type of candy to the wrong kid, and then your wife might turn into one of the stories we talked about, and now she'd be top of the list.
It is what it is. Small snacks.
Beautiful.
All right, brother.
Until next
Happy
week.
Halloween.
Congratulations on K+, baby. Let's keep it going.
Woo-hoo! Thank you, everybody. Love you.
Love you all. Peace out, brother.